My name is Bryan Barnes. This is my wife, Chinester Barnes. We've been married for 16 years, and we have some ups and downs in our marriage, so we just have to just pray and ask God to direct us how to do and what to do during the marriage. Because we've been married for 16 years, we have some disagreement to agree, so sometimes we may not get on the same page for a couple of weeks or a couple of days, I'll say. But we find ourselves coming back to one another, asking one another to forgive one another, and work the situation out. Because we have some difficult times in the marriage. It don't be always easy all the time. But we love one another. We find ourselves working together to work the situation out, work the matter out. So I encourage everybody, just stay there and talk it out and work it out and try to come to agreement to end up whatever. Don't one can't out talk the other, one can't just have the last word all the time. Sometimes let's hush and let's move on with it. So sometimes we have to do that. And it get hard sometimes, but by the grace of God, He helped us to do it, because we couldn't do it on our own.
Okay. The way we handle conflict and disagreement in our marriage is, well, you know, somebody has to be the stronger one, the better one. Not saying I am, but he is. But we learn to I learned, me personally, I can say, just learn how to have patience and be quiet. Women got to know how to. We like to express ourselves, but I've learned that it's not always good to express yourself. Because, you know, men think different, and I realize when a man say something, when he said it, that's it. And then you don't want to irritate him. See, I've learned that in a marriage. We women can irritate a man, especially if we keep talking. I like to talk, but when it comes to that conflict part, when you know you're irritating them, learn how to just keep that hold that tongue. And then if you want to say something, wait a little bit longer till things cool off, and then go back and come back in a sweet way. Well, honey, you know, I didn't like what you said, but you got to do it in a sweet way. But that's what I learned. And patience. You got to have some patience, because I learned, you know, men is different than us, of course. And sometimes you can have a bad day, and I know, like, sometimes he come home, he be soaking wet and been hot on that bus. And I imagine, you know, we in the flesh still, you know, be in the best of moods sometimes, because especially this time of year in the hot. So I learned to just have more patience and learn to just pray and just say, honey, it's something that I can do to help you. It's something I can make you feel. How was your day? And that kind of, you know, keep things kind of calm. Yeah. And we have to learn how also not to be so sensitive. I've learned that too. We cannot be sensitive when it dealing with our husbands. Because sometimes, and that's anybody, we don't know, sometimes people don't know if they even did anything wrong or said anything wrong, you know, because that's how we are. Or sometimes we can be in error and don't know it. So, but we cannot be having our feelings on our shoulders as being a wife. We got to know how to build our house build our house up as the Bible says. And no matter what, and even though the Bible says we're the weaker vessel, you know, we got to learn how sometimes to step up, you know, a notch, and learn how to be strong in the Lord in reference to taking something, you know. And then that makes things. They always told my pastor, one of my former pastors, always said, y'all, some women have power, more power than you realize. And it ain't always got to be in like a sensual way. It can be just a touch, you know, or the way you talk. They say that pillow talk. That works too. So it's a lot, you know, but most of all, love and patience. That you're gonna have to have love. You don't, as they say, I think there's another song said about love. You know, one thing come to my mind about it's a thin line. Between love and hate, that movie. But if you don't love a person, you ain't gonna stay. One thing about it, if you don't love them, or if I don't love my husband or whatever, you know, I've seen people, they'll leave out the marriage. And I've been there, I left, but we didn't divorce. I stayed. Yeah, we didn't divorce, I stayed with him because I loved him. We went through the storm and the rain. We started learning one another. And I think too, because we so much alike, we both like things our way. But that's okay, you know, we learn to you know, go through that. And if you want to add anything to it, I want to, you know, Anything that you want to add to it? But yeah, just having that patience and that love, that's the main thing.
Men got to be quiet sometimes too.
Okay.
Can't have all the talking either.
Okay.